In this video, we're now going to apply a principle of animation called timing. This is where we will take the poses we created and spread them out along the timeline to figure out the best timing and how long a position is held for. I have already gone ahead and done the timing for you to make this as easy as possible, so I'm going to walk through what I have. Overall, the jump animation itself is going to be 55 frames long. Then it will cycle back to the beginning and start over. Left click and drag to select all the keyframes from frame 1 to 7. With all the keyframes selected, hold Alt, left click, and drag the last keyframe all the way to frame 55. Next, drag all the poses to the respective frames. Starting with the standing position, we're going to leave that on frame 1. Frame 15, we will leave for now and come back to that one. Frame 23, we want to drag our keys for the crouch position. Frame 27, we will set up to leap. Frame 33 is going to be our air position. Frame 37 is going to be the contact position. Frame 39 we will have for the landing. And last, frame 55 will be standing again. Now without making any changes, go ahead and play back your animation. If this is your first animation, this might look good to you. However, it has one common issue that most beginners make that separate them from experienced animators. It's floaty. So let's fix that. Instead of having the standing pose go to the crouching pose all the way on frame 23, let's have our character stand in place till frame 15. To keep the exact same pose from frame 1, go ahead and select all 3 keyframes and right click and select copy. And then take your time indicator, select frame 15, right click and select paste. Now play back your animation. Looking a little bit better, but it's not quite yet there. We're going to add another timing technique called animating on twos. Right now, our animation is being played back at 24 frames per second, meaning that in 1 second of 24 frames, the animation from keyframe to keyframe is being played on each frame. But let's say we want to animate on every 2 frames instead of 1. Let's set up our animation and see what that looks like. Right off the bat, I want to bring your attention to the placement of my keyframes. Notice that each keyframe was placed on a frame of an odd number. That is because I started my animation on 1 and not 0. 0 is where the design and rigging takes place. 1 and beyond is where the animation happens. That means in order to animate on twos, because I am starting on frame 1, I can only make this possible by counting 2 frames from 1. In that case, that equals 3. 2 from 3 is 5, and so on. So let's go ahead and set our animation to twos. Select all the keyframes you created, right-click any keyframe, go to interval, and select 2. Now play back the animation. See a bigger difference? Here's the animation on 1s. And here's the animation on 2s. Personally, I prefer to animate most of my animation on 2s. It's actually easier to know that I can only create my animation keys on odd numbers, which gives me less frames to work with, which also makes my job as an animator easier. In fact, that is what traditional animators did to help cut back on their work and stay within the animation studio budget. Instead of animating on 1s or every single frame, they animated on 2s or 12 frames, and even sometimes 3s and 4s. So now that you have the timing set up for your animation, let's start animating the in-betweens of each pose. We'll go ahead and do that in the next video. I'll see you there. Want to learn how to be a better animator and create professional animations? In this step-by-step character animation course, I have helped beginner animators create advanced animations by teaching them how to apply principles of animation to create professional level animations and understand how to effectively use the Moho animation timeline and motion graph. Want to take the course? Use promo code RUN2019 and get the course 50% off. Link is in the description.